Well, good morning. I'm Jeff Coleman.
And I'm Deborah Pinkerton. Welcome to Morning Light.
In just a moment, our Morning Light panel will go behind the headlines.
But first, here's a preview of what's coming up later in the show. Investing in people, improving lives. Lebanon County Christian Ministries shares the love of Jesus through food, shelter, and programming for life change. I will sit down with the executive director, and you will also hear from someone who has been impacted by the ministry.
And it is December 18th, and it is almost Christmas, and many of us are stressed out in this last-minute gift race. Those new blue and gray Amazon trucks with those cute little round lights becoming the newest reminders that December 25th is almost here.
A week away.
A week away. Wow. But according to a Harvard Business Review study, BNPL, that's buy now, pay later services like Klarna and Afterpay, allowing for interest-free installment plans, actually encourage consumers to spend more, up to 26% more when we pay later. So why do we do it? How do we have an honest conversation with ourselves about Christmas spending habits? Deborah, what's the answer?
Well, I don't know. My husband we're both on the same page with this.
They're excellent examples.
I don't know about that, but we definitely, if we can't afford it, then we don't buy it because we want to pay our credit card debt off every month.
Good policy.
Yeah.
Credit counseling with Deborah after the show.
Okay. Well, a generational divide has emerged on Christmas buying habits. According to a study out earlier this year, millennials are willing to spend big for luxury goods, a way to show off achievement or status. 70% say it's important to project the right image. Now, that's compared to 80% of boomers who say they'll spend less and are more willing to shell out more for experiences. I like experiences, like going on a trip or something like that. So do older Americans know something millennials don't know about the promise of luxury brands?
Or did those older Americans who were once in that other category just graduate a little bit, mature? We'll find out from the panel. And this Christmas, there are 649 incarcerated persons for every 100,000 people in Pennsylvania. Add in friends and family, and those impacted by neighbors in jail or prison is exponentially higher. For the second year in a row, a Pennsylvania church right around here, LCBC, packed over 10,000 hope packs for correctional officers and those incarcerated. The packs included a calendar, a notebook, and a message of encouragement. So why is it important to include incarcerated neighbors into our Christmas celebrations? We'll take these questions in the Morning Light panel this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning, Jeff.
And a new familiar face is back, Dave Biser. We've missed you a great deal.
Oh, thanks.
Welcome back.
It's great to be back.
Luke Covert, thanks for hanging out with us this week.
This is a fun week.
And the John Wetzel.
Yeah. Jeff Coleman.
Can you tell us what your insignia is on the people are going to be wondering?
Keystone Restaurateur Justice Center. Restaurateur Latin for restoration.
What do you focus on?
We focus on community safety systems and really working with leaders who are committed to restoring humanity and giving people the opportunity to get back on track.
More than thinking just about incarceration, it's kind of the other full picture of it.
It's a full picture. Incarceration's just a moment for most people. So we can make that moment have an impact that pays off down the road. Beautiful. There's a lot of people who want to do it, and we help them with that.
So let's stay with that just for a second. When we're talking about incarcerated people, that's a big radius around an individual who happens to be this Christmas in a prison or jail somewhere in Pennsylvania, right? How big is that family of people who are adjacent to someone who is in prison?
Well, if you just talk about incarcerated, and then you add 70% of the incarcerated people have kids, probably on average 2, parents, wives, girlfriends. It's a huge universe, and when dad's locked up, it's a
mostly
lot.
dad, right?
Mostly dad. When mom too, but mostly dad. I mean, 90% dad, probably 10% mom. So Chuck Colson, the Prison Fellowship, has a ministry, Angel Tree Ministry, that
Our church has participated in it.
That actually allows parents to get their kids a gift. I mean, just beautiful. As a guy who's worked a couple Christmases as an officer, it's sobering to think about this time of year, and good for us to all think about it this time of year.
Your church has been generally involved with you personally are.
Absolutely right.
Tell us a little bit about why you would instruct people who go to your church, say, hey, don't forget about people who are in prison this Christmas
we actually
season.
had this conversation before I got here this morning with our staff around the office, and oftentimes people who are incarcerated are forgotten about. They know that, we know that. We need to recognize that there is a forgotten element to our society who needs to know that we still care about them because we still care about the ability for transformation. If we as believers are convinced that transformation is possible, then it can be possible for everybody, no matter who they are and no matter what they've done. You know, if the thief on the cross can get there, well, yeah, anybody, right? And so this is a group within our population who needs to know that not only are they being remembered, there is a hope for them. Not just because one day they'll be out, but because of who they are right now, because of who they are in Jesus.
Luke?
That's important.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it as a dad before, not because I've, been close to being locked up, but I guess, we're all like 6 steps away from doing something horrible and getting there. But,
right.
It's hit me that like there is no life insurance policy that covers your family. As far as I know, you can't buy jail insurance or something like
right.
that. And so it's like, just as a dad, it's like, man, what would happen to my family? Where I'd,
right.
It would almost be better if I was to be in a horrible accident and, they were taken care of. It's a sobering thought, It gives me some sympathy, I guess.
I've heard that conversation. I've heard that conversation from people who have families who are incarcerated and saying, look, we have to plan in the event that one of our sons goes. So there's a family fund for going to prison. Let's talk about what we're buying. And look, there are, I mean, thanks for bringing up Angel Tree, and if your church is participating in that, just beautiful. But our presents to our families, there's a whole lot of pressure. And we used to have something called layaway, where Kmart and Sears would have layaway, where you could pay in installments. This new generation of installment buying, interestingly, the study from Harvard suggests that we're actually spending more. So how do we get our arms around what we should be spending? What is the right number to spend? How do you really show someone you love them? And is there a dollar amount attached to it? Dave.
Right. Wow. Thanks for throwing that to me first. The reality is that impact needs to be something personal. And status oftentimes is not a personal thing in that I'm giving a gift that I know will make a difference in your life. I think about headphones, for example. I just had a trip, and I'm on and off a plane and in and out of an airport, and people are wearing these really big, expensive headphones, right? And I'm thinking, why? Why do you would a different grade, would a different pair do the same job? But it's the status symbol.
Below, right?
Do I have a pair? Right. Yeah, I can get a $5 below pair, or do I get a pair of $100 or $200 Beats or whatever it is? So there is the status thing I'm concerned about, and I think it's generated oftentimes by the short burst of social media presence. It's now carrying over, I think, into
click to buy.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's now carrying over into our presence among others. I want you to see something that I've got.
Presence with a different spelling.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So, for me, it's much more about how do I know you? What do you really need, and how can I invest it into your life in some way? That's different.
John, what are your rules, you and your family, what are your rules for Christmas and what you buy, what you don't buy?
I mean, when I was growing up, some would say I still haven't grown up.
Don't say lump of coal.
Right. No, but father of 4 daughters and really trying to work my way and their way out of poverty. And I'll tell you, guy worked 3 jobs as a county board, That day, I didn't want my kids to feel middle class. So every little opportunity I could to make that day, that room fill. One day we don't have to feel like, so I get it. And I'm not, I mean, someone once explained to me or suggested like the father to be a provider and be there and all that stuff. So, sometimes you use proxies. Right. I use proxies.
Does God being the Father take a little bit of the pressure off that line of kind of chain of provision? Like if you're someone out there saying, I want to be a good dad, but is there some of that pressure you transfer over?
There is, but some of that gets really quickly into the on the bill for the waiter, I left a Bible verse instead of a tip. Right. Where you're like, that's not the same, and so I do get a little bit of that. I think overall, to me, the whole thing feels like there's this infamous saying now that's I forget who the quote is, but it's "You will own nothing and be happy." And so we talk about buy now, pay later. It feels a little bit like, don't own a car, just rent a car. Don't own a home, just rent a home. You know, it feels like there's a direction that more than just like the gifts under the tree, I'm trying to figure out how to protect my kids from that.
It's almost like the gift can put you on a track.
Correct.
For personal materialism.
Yeah.
Let's take 30 seconds, just go around the experiences versus the perfect, ideal luxury item gift that says, I love you.
Yeah, I'll spend the bank on the experience every day.
Yeah.
Right. The experience to me is making.
And you do this, right?
We do this. You know, making memories are so much more than the thing that will eventually need replaced down the road 3 years, 5 years down the road, or whatever that is. I want to make memories. So that's what I want to do. I'm
smack dab in the millennial cohort, and I don't care about stuff. You know, I'd rather go places and see things. But I also think I have to look at my life, and there's a lot of millennials who aren't married, a lot of millennials who don't have kids. So I feel like they're still status searching for a place to fit in, whereas I think a lot of boomers. Do you feel any of that
pressure that when, you know, to show your peers that you're successful, you buy the thing or drive the car, or do you not care at all?
I don't care about that.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I got married really young.
Yeah.
You know, we had kids really young. Priorities shifted. But I do have lots of friends who aren't married. There's no, you know, that's not in sight, really. They don't have kids. And so Christmas is still about, like, what is the watch? What is the phone? You know, like the new I never really got the new iPhone thing. So I might be the wrong person to be here, you know, on the panel today. I don't know.
I think you were very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, John Wetzel, this is it. This is all you.
Yeah.
So your advice to families who are feeling the pressure and how you now, after you've gone through that era of breaking your back to make sure they had a great Christmas, where are you on the other side of it now, with kids are grown up? And
yeah, I think it's really important that whatever that aspect of, they realize that it's not about them. That this is a day about the birth of our God on earth, right? So I think always balancing it with giving to others, helping somebody out, delivering some meals, whatever, to just recognize that
balance,
whatever, and then maybe give one or two away.
Yeah.
Something, but the status thing is real for kids, and you know, again, we decoupled them from a bunch of stuff, and they live through their phones, so it's real. So we need to strike a balance.
Very helpful, gentlemen. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Well, thanks to our panel for joining us today. Coming up next in the Morning Light, Christian churches joining forces to provide food to the community, how Lebanon County Christian Ministries got its start, and how the nonprofit continues to help those in need. And good morning to all our friends in Hershey, where you can check out Hershey's Sweet Lights through January 1st. You're watching Morning Light on Lighthouse TV.
Sharing the love of Jesus in tangible ways, Lebanon County Christian Ministries started in 1982 in response to the Bethlehem Steel plant closing. Since then, the nonprofit is showing Christ's love and compassion to the community. Joining me right now is Executive Director Bryan Smith. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
So tell us about Lebanon County Christian Ministries.
Yeah, so we're a ministry based in Lebanon City, serving most of Lebanon County. And we are trying to meet folks where they are, meet their basic needs with food, shelter, and then some of our programming that extends beyond that.
Talk to us about your programming.
Yeah, so our mission is to share the love of Jesus through food, shelter, and then promoting connections to well-being in a healthy community. So from a food perspective, we have a market on 7th. We call it the Market on 7th. We believe that words matter. It's our food pantry. Individuals can come shop there for groceries, and we're serving 1,000 households every 2 weeks.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful space and a great opportunity for us to connect with individuals in our community. We also do connections from a food perspective at our free new meal. That meal serves about 130 meals every day. We know that about 30% of the individuals that come to the meal, it's the only meal that they get. Maybe not the only food, but it's the only meal. So it's important that we are providing them food and spiritual blessings through the food. And then the other programming is we have an Uplift Light program, works with utility assistance and clothing assistance, and our Uplift program, those are life change programs.
Talk to us more about the Uplift program.
Yeah, Uplift is a program that we launched about 3 years ago, and the program was initially funded by Wellspan through a grant program. And our goal was to take individuals who were maybe living right on that edge of, we call it ALICE, asset limited income constrained but employed, maybe not making it from paycheck to paycheck, and identify barriers to their success. But it's not a program for the heart. It is a 9-month commitment for the individuals. They meet every 2 weeks with our life coach. They establish goals, and they work to knock down those barriers and achieve those goals.
So really someone walk inside you along the way, every step of the way.
Yeah, it's all about community, right? If we can bring people together and not be by ourselves, life is much better.
And how do you weave the gospel into everything you do?
Yeah, so we're blessed that we have Christian in our name, and that's a part of what we want to do. Churches are supporting us. We also receive some funding that says, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. We really believe that the number one way we can do that is just to show love, right? It's the greatest commandment. So we do that by our staff and our volunteers just being examples. And what's really beautiful to watch is individuals, as we're engaged with them, will begin to start to say, why is it that you care about me? Why is it that you treat me this way? For us, it's an easy answer to say, well, we're just tasked with the greatest commandment to love. And then when they start to ask questions, it provides an open door for us just to then have dialogue and conversation.
And this is really an important time to share that love, to show the love during the holidays.
Yeah, this is a unique time. The awareness is heightened of individuals who maybe don't have. We see it all year long. In Lebanon County, 10% of the individuals in our community live in poverty, 10% are in food insecure households, 36% can't make it from paycheck to paycheck.
Those are high numbers.
They're really, really large numbers, and we see that every day. But this is a time of year where individuals maybe are more aware of it, and we're okay with that. We understand that. That's important. It's an opportunity for us to get folks maybe on board as volunteers in ways that they can support our ministry.
Yeah, absolutely. What is the goal? What do you hope to achieve?
Yeah, I think that if, everybody that's in my role should say our goal is to eliminate our jobs and not need to have individuals that are addressing food insecurity and housing insecurity and poverty. Probably isn't going to happen. Certainly isn't going to happen in my lifetime. So I think our goal then needs to be that we're able to at least be a little bit of a light of hope for individuals, that we're able to show them love, that we're able to provide them some of the basic necessities. Inside of the program that we do, we have things such as the food distribution that maybe don't have significant impact, but we address a large number of individuals, all the way down to the Uplift program, which is a small number of individuals that has huge impact. And in all of that, love and hope are certainly important.
Okay, yeah, certainly. And hopefully we can bring that number down a little bit there. Thank you for what you are doing.
Thank you.
And if you would like more information about Lebanon County Christian Ministries, check out lccm.us. And coming up next on Morning Light, as we just heard, each year Lebanon County Christian Ministries serves hundreds of vulnerable people and families. You will hear from someone who was impacted by this ministry. That's next. And good morning, Gettysburg and Heritage Assembly of God. Thank you for watching Morning Light. Welcome back. You heard about the mission of Lebanon County Christian Ministries. At LCCM, they provide more than food. They help you thrive. And joining me is Lorraine Stevens with her life coach, Vazquez, to talk about how Lebanon County Christian Ministries really does help. Thank you both for being with us. So, Lorraine, why don't you share your journey with us?
Well, I've been a part of the Uplift program since for about 9 months now. Beginning of this year, I think it was in April. In June of 2024. Been with them, and it has impacted me a really great deal. Just been basically working on myself with the help of my coach, and I'm better off than I have been.
And we were talking earlier, and you said that you were living in New York City and you moved here. What brought you here?
Well, it wasn't me. I have to say that. It wasn't me at all. For starters, it was during the pandemic. So when I moved out here through the grace of God. When I moved out here, I ended up getting a place. And then within 2 weeks, I just ended up walking into the doors of Lebanon Christian Ministry for assistance. And it led to them helping me with getting stuff for work, and I've been able to work, and now I've been still working the same job ever since. So,
And tell me, how did they help you? We were talking earlier about how they provided clothes and really prepped you for your interview. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so like I said, I just walked in there one day. I didn't have an appointment or anything, so I was really surprised that they didn't turn me away. They did an intake on me. They saw what my needs and it met my needs. So the next day I was able to go on my interview, and I was able to get that job because of them. And I'm still currently working there to this day.
Oh, that is wonderful. Leslie, why don't you talk to us about your role as a life coach?
Okay, so my role is I would meet with our guests, and they would complete an assessment, and we'll see where they are in their life. And then they would come up with their own plan of actions. And so we will try to help eliminate anything that will get in the way of their goals.
And how have you seen the growth in Lorraine? I mean, you helped her with the job interview, being dressed properly, and she's thriving.
Yes, she is. So I've seen that now she's more financially stable, has stable income coming into the house. She is connecting more with resources in the area, in our community, and she has more financial freedom.
Moving from New York City to here, I mean, that's a big adjustment, and not really having any family here in the area. You must be so proud of how she's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The future is looking bright. So how do you see God working through you, Lorraine?
Well, I see God working in my life in many ways. For starters, I always have just an honest conversation with him every chance I get. I believe that the more I pray and I leave all my worries and cares under his realm, he'll take care of it while he guides me along the way throughout the day, because that's all we have is a day to do what we can to be a better, productive person for other people, and a great impact in their lives. So when it comes down to God, I'm just like, wow, I'm just grateful that he has that much love for me, that he's holding on to me no matter what.
That is really very touching. And how do you feel today? How do you feel? I mean, you must be happy with yourself too.
I am. I am. I mean, the greatest thing I can only say is that the love of God is priceless. I mean, I haven't really had love from humans, but when it comes down to God, it's amazing. So I know it's his love that have me here today.
Oh, we are so proud of your accomplishments, and Leslie with helping. How can we pray for you both?
How can we pray?
Just pray on, the whole Lebanon County Christian Ministry crew, just to help them be more stable, and then having, relief for our community as well.
Well, you're certainly doing a difference, and you're doing a great job, and we certainly wish you both a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and sharing your journey with us.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Again, for more information about Lebanon County Christian Ministries, check out lccm.us. Stay with us. We are back right after the break. Welcome back. Good morning, Philadelphia, where you can check out Luminature this Christmas at the Philadelphia Zoo. I have driven by it a number of times, and it is beautiful. Thank you for watching Morning Light on Lighthouse TV. And coming up tomorrow on Morning Light, we introduced you to Brendan Kenny back in October. He will be here to share his experience at the Special Olympics, plus Peace on Earth. Artist Elva Hurst shares childhood Christmas memories through chalk art. Now that's a look at what's coming up tomorrow on Morning Light. Now, Jeff, your closing thoughts.
Well, thank you, Deborah. Well, earlier in the show, we talked about a Pennsylvania church, LCBC, providing Christmas hope to incarcerated neighbors. The most popular gift? A calendar. Yesterday, I called a buddy of mine currently midway through a prison sentence, and I wrote down what he told me. He said, in prison, time stands still. Minutes are hours. Hours are weeks. You don't have clocks or watches in prison. And then he says, you count the hours by meals. Time is so different as soon as you walk through those walls. Some of you aren't in a physical prison, but a prison of your own mind. You mark time by sunrises when that game show comes on or the Mayberry rerun comes on TV. And to be honest, on most days, sleep can't come soon enough. But here's the message of Christmas. God cares a lot about you and your sleepless nights and the fears that keep you from peace. And He isn't counting church attendance or the money you've donated to all the good causes this Christmas. It's you, a relationship with you He wants. And for you and me, that's pretty good news. For Deborah and the entire Morning Light team, I'm Jeff Coleman. Thanks for watching. Go check on your neighbors today, and God willing, we'll see you again tomorrow morning.